did you do with him?
He was just there with me. I was the one that recovered the casings, put the cones, took the pictures, and he was there assisting me.
All right. So let's talk about that first one that we were going into. What did you see when you first arrived?
At that case, the one 1464,
Yes.
the crime scene was already secured by Ranger, I believe his name was Randy Garcia from Cotula, and he had already photographed, so he told me where the casings were at. So we put the cones, took pictures, and recovered the 3 casings. I believe it was 3 casings and 2 fragments.
And what was the location of this one, if you remember?
It was, I believe, the 24-mile marker on the bottom towards the west side.
When you say at the bottom,
Bottom of the overpass. Like you got off the highway, you went under the underpass. It was off to the side.
Okay, and where was the body located?
It was right there, I think, on the roadway.
On the roadway under the overpass?
Outside the overpass.
Okay. What mile marker?
I believe it was a 24-mile marker.
Okay, what highway?
IH-35,
Okay, and what county?
Webb County,
Okay, and is that within the where this body was located? Was that within Laredo or outside?
outside Laredo.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you a series of photographs here, and you let me know if you recognize these photos. Okay. I'm going to mark this first one as State's Exhibit 118. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes,
Okay, and how do you recognize that photograph?
that's the crime scene that I went to at the 24-mile marker.
Did you take that photo?
I don't recall. I might have.
But you were there at that scene?
Yes.
And is that a true and accurate depiction of what you saw when you arrived there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and hand me that one back.
Speak in the mic. No, not.
Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm marking now as State's Exhibit 119. Same question, do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, that's one of the casings.
Okay, is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and hand me that back as well. I'm going to show you what I'm marking as State's Exhibit 120. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you viewed on that day as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and hand me that one back. I'm going to show you what I'm marking as State's Exhibit 121, 122, and 123. With 121, do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about 122? Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what was shown or what you saw that night?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 123. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you viewed on that night as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and hand me those back. Let me show you State's Exhibit 124. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night?
Yes, sir.
Here's State's Exhibit 125. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to mark 126 and 127, State's Exhibit. I'm showing you 126 and 127. Do you recognize those two photographs?
Yes, sir.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and hand me those back. I'm going to go ahead and mark these as 128, 129, and 130. State's Exhibits 128, 129, and 130. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 128?
Yes, sir.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize State's Exhibit 129?
Yes, sir.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 130. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that night?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and hand me those back. I'm going to hand to defense counsel State's Exhibit 118 to 130 for an objection trial.
objections to 118 through 130.
And the state wishes to admit States Exhibits 118 and 130 at this time to evidence.
States Exhibits 118 through 130 will be admitted to evidence at this time for the jury's consideration.
And may I publish to the jury?
You may.
And quick disclaimer to the audience and media present that some of these may be graphic, so just a forewarning.
Real quick, just gonna see. Suggestion. Mr. Perez?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 118. You just testified that you have recognized this photo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You testified earlier that you went out to the scene and you encountered Trooper Randy Garcia already securing the scene and the body under the overpass. Is this
Yes.
the way you, when you first got
Yes.
there, the body appeared?
Yes, sir. It's Ranger Randy Garcia.
Okay. Now we see here in the photos these little orange circles. What is that? What exactly is that for the members of the jury?
I believe that's when the Ranger arrived. He marked it with a spray paint.
Did he move any of that stuff?
No, sir.
Okay. Why did he mark it?
Just so we know where it's at and nobody will step on it. The scene was already secured with crime scene tape, I believe.
Okay, but you were the only ones that picked up those physical
Yes.
pieces of evidence. Okay. I'm going to show you what's has been marked as States Exhibit 119, and it's a close-up of one of these. Is that what you saw on that night?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what that is?
It's a casing 40 cal.
A casing? Showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 120. Is that the same thing?
Yes, sir. That's I believe, a bullet fragment. Oh, no, it's a casing. Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Do you see it there?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Sorry, bearings are off. Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit 122. Where are we going order? It's been marked as States Exhibit 121. Okay. Is that also how you encountered the body?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you remember off the top of your head, how many casings were around the body?
I believe there were 3.
Okay. Did you recover all 3 of these casings?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you States Exhibit 122. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The way the position of the body is, was that the way you found it?
Yes.
Okay. You never moved the body?
I didn't touch the body, sir.
Let me show you States Exhibit 125. Can you explain, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what that is?
That's the victim's hand when it has a tattoo.
Okay. And in what position is her hand?
It's like facing up. She was like,
How would you describe how her hand was when she passed away, I believe?
she stayed with her hand closed.
Okay. Would you say it's clenched? Like a
Yeah,
fist?
like,
I'll show you States Exhibit 126, which appears to be a close-up. Okay. Is that one of your markers?
I don't recall, sir. Mine
Okay.
might have belonged to the Ranger.
Okay, but those markers are placed there for what purposes?
That's the casing, to mark the casing
Show you State's Exhibit 127. Same question.
Same thing.
Same thing? Okay, now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 129. To give you a little bit more of a layout of how the crime scene was. We see 3 markers and 3 circles in orange, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And is that where the casings were found? They weren't moved?
No, they weren't moved. That's where they were at.
Okay. I'm just going to publish the other 2 bits at the bench conference.
Yes, sir.
2 different juries. Now I'm going to show you Investigator Naked so we can give the jury a context, but I'm showing you State's Exhibit 130. Okay, it's already been admitted into evidence. Okay. Can you describe what you're seeing in that photo?
It looks like the fragment. It's too far.
Okay, and what do we see there?
A lot of blood. And
You
some,
need to speak in the mic.
a lot of blood, and then the blood was already been there for a while.
Okay, who, if anyone else, is in there?
I believe that's Brandon Stern.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 123. You can go ahead and explain that to the jury as well.
That's already when the medical examiner arrived and they turned the body over.
Okay, and do they usually move the body and stuff like
Yes, they're the ones. We don't touch the body till the medical examiner arrives.
that? Okay, thank you. I'm going to hand to the jury for their inspection State's Exhibit 130, State's Exhibit 123. Now, Investigator Ninka, moving on, is that the only crime scene that you went to?
I went to the last one, or Janelle's crime scene.
Okay, let's back up. Do you remember telling me what?
Yes,
Okay. Did you go to that crime scene?
not to the crime scene.
Where did you go in that?
I was sent to the hospital
Okay, why were you sent to the hospital?
to take photographs and to take photographs.
Okay, were you ordered by someone to take? To go out there and take
My
photos?
Captain Calderon,
Okay, and when you arrived, what was the state of Miss Loera?
she had already passed away.
Okay, may I approach her? I'm going to show you what I'm marking as State's Exhibits 131, 132, and 133. Showing you State's Exhibit 131. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that the photograph you took at the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 132. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day as well?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 133. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
When these photos were taken, had Miss Stueta already expired?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm tendering the defense counsel State's Exhibits 131 to 133 for an objection. May I approach?
Yep.
permission to publish these to the jury.
Yes, sir.
And, same announcement as before, Your Honor. Are these fine and published on the mail?
Based on what you all represented to me yesterday, as far as having informed certain people, yes, you may.
Oh, okay, let's hear your name. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 131. Can you identify the individual in this photo?
That's Miss Claudine Loera.
Okay, is this the condition you found, Ms. Loera, when you went to the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm showing you State's Exhibit 132. Same question, is this the condition you found, Ms. Loera?
Yes, sir.
Now, from the hospital, so let me backtrack. On that, what was that day, if you remember?
Can I look at my notes?
Would it help you refresh your memory?
Yes.
To look at your notes? Go ahead.
It was September 13, 2018, sir.
What, if anything, happened after that? Or you know what, let me backtrack. About what time were you sent out to the hospital to go and take those photos?
It was approximately 8 in the morning,
Okay.
I believe.
Were you at the Webb County substation when Mr. Ortiz was brought in for questioning?
I think I was still there, yes.
Okay, did you sit down and watch that interview in a separate room with other investigators?
No, sir.
Okay, where were you at that time?
I was inside the patrol room.
Okay, where's your main office? I'm gonna say your name here. Where do you usually office out of?
My office is on Highway 59.
Okay, and is that the substation that we're
Yes,
talking
sir.
about? Okay. And what else is the evidence room in that same substation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At about this point, how long had you been up?
This day.
So we went, we identified that you were at Guiseda's crime scene.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that the only crime scene in which you recovered evidence?
I assisted also in the case number 1470.
Okay, and 1470 is which case?
I believe it's the one with Miss Erica Peña and the search warrant.
Okay, when you talk about the search warrant, where was the search warrant executed at?
I believe it was, can I look at my notes?
Will it help refresh your memory?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
$204. $204 Burr Oak.
Okay, and whose house did that belong to?
Mr. David Ortiz.
Now, at that location, what was your role and duties?
Crime scene, recovery of evidence, photographs with Investigator Ugarte.
Okay, at that time, what, if any, physical evidence that you recovered?
We recovered some firearms, ammunition. I think we recovered some trash from the trash cans.
In addition to recovering physical evidence, what else did you do there?
We photographed the scene, the house.
Okay. when you were photographing the house, had anything been moved?
No, sir.
Okay, so the photographs that you took were of the house at the condition when you guys entered?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm gonna, permission to approach, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Now, while we're remembering these, let me ask you some procedure questions. When you receive evidence and it needs to be sent out to a lab, what is your, what's the procedure that you do to go ahead and ensure that gets taken care of?
It was, first of all, we log it in. It has to be in our system, so when it goes to wherever it's going, it's logged out. That way there's chain of custody. And once it's already, we prepare it, depending on how many items are gonna go. We put it in a box, an envelope, just depends what it is. And once all that's done, either myself or back then, Investigator Ugarte would transport it to the crime lab.
Was any of that done in this case?
On certain items, yes.
Okay, who decides which items get sent to the lab?
Whoever's the lead investigator.
Okay, so you don't decide which ones goes.
The lead investigator tells us what they want us to send.
Okay, and then you're the one in charge of actually taking that evidence, securing it, and sending it out to whichever lab
Yes, sir.
corresponds.
Mhm.
Okay. When that evidence is then sent back, who recovers that?
Whoever, usually it'll be like, we'll go take something to the lab and they'll tell us we have this evidence there and then we bring it back.
And we, is it usually you?
Either me or Ugarte back then, and right now it's me or Sergeant Castillo.
Okay. Once it's brought back, where does it go?
It gets logged back into the system and put back where it goes.
Okay, now, Deputy Castillo testified yesterday that there's a secure system there. Can you describe that system to ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Our system is we have the evidence room has a keypad and only myself and Sergeant Castillo have the code. We go in and we put it back depending what in this case, since it's a major case, it's separate and it's all put together in boxes by case number.
Okay, let's talk about those case numbers. In this case, how many case numbers were there?
1405, 1453, 1464, 1465, 1475, sir.
Okay, and why was it divided into 5 cases?
Because each was a different incident, a different crime scene.
Okay, and so the evidence is based on the words recovered?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and all that is kept separate from one another?
Yes, it's since in this case it was the same case, like all together, but they're separate by case number.
Okay, and who's in charge of that?
Me.
May I approach you, Honor?
Yes, sir.
Now, we talked that you went to the house on Burrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to show you a series of photographs showing what's been marked as States Exhibits 134, 135, 136, 137, 138, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, and 144. Okay, I'm going to ask you individually, but in States Exhibit 134, do you recognize that photo?
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the photo that was taken that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead and same question for States Exhibit 135. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 136. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 137. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 138. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. States Exhibit 139. Same question. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 140. Fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. States Exhibit 141. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
States Exhibit 142. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day?
Yes, sir.
And States Exhibit 143 and 144. There's fair and accurate depiction of what you saw on that day in both of those photographs.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna hand those back to you. I'm gonna hand over to Defense Counsel for any objections. States Exhibits 134 and 144.
Exhibit 134 and 135, first of all, will be admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Judge. And then State's Exhibits 136 and 144 through 144 will reserve to bring in through another witness. Permission to publish State's Exhibits 134 and 135.
Granted.
Okay. Can you describe, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 134. Can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what it is they're seeing here?
That is the 204 Burr Oak. That's the residence that we had the search warrant for.
Okay, and whose home is that?
Mr. David Ortiz.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 135. Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what they're seeing in this photograph?
It's the same house, just the garage photo,
Okay.
the driveway.
Did the other two deputies that you mentioned earlier, Ugarte and Stern, were they with you when you went into this house?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Now, we spoke that you recovered 3 casings from Moises Lacine, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You're on permission to use the wall of the gallery here?
Yes.
And I'm going to show you 4 packages, but 3 of these are marked as State's Exhibits 52, 53, and 54. But they came in this package. And I'm going to mark this one for the record purposes. I'm going to mark this as State's Exhibit 145. So, State's Exhibit 145, do you recognize that?
Yes, sir. That's a return from DPS.
Okay, now without going into what it is, let me just answer one by one with some of my questions. These, do you recognize State's Exhibit 52?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you recognize State's Exhibit 53?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize State's Exhibit 54?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you want to hand those back to me. We're talking about State's Exhibit 145. Now you can go ahead and explain to me what it is that we're seeing on State's Exhibit 145.
This is the envelope that DPS returns it when we send it off to the lab.
Okay, and is this one of your envelopes?
I don't think so because it would have one of these tags on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so that's from DPS.
It's from DPS and it has their logo on it.
Okay, and you had explained to us earlier that they send that back to you.
They send it back. When we go drop off something, they'll say that they have evidence to return and they give it back to us.
Okay, and then these 3 items were within that bag, and these items and this are your packaging.
This is ours, yes.
Okay. Now me show you State's Exhibit 52. How do you recognize that item?
The tag right here, it says what it is.
Okay, and you had testified earlier that you had recovered 3 casings from the scene in Guiseldas, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that information reflected on that package? A case number, a name?
It has the case number right here.
Okay, is there some...
Where it was located,
Okay.
the location, and the date and time.
Now, is there an identifying mark that you yourself put on that package to show that it was yours?
It's right here where we sealed it.
Okay,
Right, in this case, Ugarte sealed it.
okay, and you recognize that how?
It's JM, it's just, there's his initials right there.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and open that. Well, let's wait on that. Let me show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 53. So, same question. How do you recognize what's in that?
It's on the label, 140 cal casing, number 2. It has the case number here, the case number on the tag, the date and time, and what it is, 40 caliber spent casing.
Okay, and is there an identifying mark there that shows that it is yours? Or that it was recovered by you?
On this one, right here, it's where my name's where I checked it in.
Okay, and that's in what again?
On the evidence tag, when I logged it in.
Okay.
I'm the ticketing officer and I'm the property officer, and then it's right here, it says that it was recovered.
Okay, and these let me show you State's Exhibit 54. Same question, can you identify State's Exhibit 54?
It's number 3. It's a 40 caliber casing, case number, the date and time, the 40 caliber spent casing, and it was sealed by Investigator Ugarte.
Okay. Now, are these items still sealed?
Yes, right now they are.
Okay. When something is opened and then resealed, what do you do to ensure the integrity of the evidence?
I will, if I have to open it, I'll use right here. I'll open it right here, and then I'll put another evidence tape like this, initial it, and date it
And where do you initial it?
on the edge right here, where that way if the seal's broken, you'll see where they tore it off or something.
Okay, so you initial on the tape itself.
On the tape and on the envelope or box, whatever it is.
And the purpose of that again was?
So if anybody tries to open it, you'll see where it opens. So it'll be like,
Okay, and so from what you can see in those packages, let me ask you this, did those get sent to the lab?
yes,
Okay, how do you know that?
because it has the lab right here.
Okay.
And it has the sticker right here from the lab.
Okay.
The lab number, submission number.
And is that present in all 3 of the exhibits I showed you,
Yes,
52,
right.
53, and 54?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there any other identifying marks that the lab does or makes on these packages?
Right here, do you see where they have it written down right here?
Right, okay. And is that present on the other 2 as well?
Yes.
Okay. Does the lab use its own seal?
Yes.
Is it different from the one that you guys use?
Yeah, they have a different, like there's,
So, when the lab sends it back to you and they seal it, are you able to tell if it's your seal or their seal?
it's theirs.
And
You
how,
can tell,
how can you tell that?
because theirs usually have a different color. Every year the color changes.
Okay. So every year the color changes for the
Yeah,
labs?
every year, like certain years, there'll be different colors.
Okay. And again, these have not been opened since they were brought back from the lab?
No.
Thank you. Your Honor, at this time, the state wishes to admit State's Exhibit 145, which is simply the packaging in which EPS sent back State's Exhibits 51, 52, 53, and 54. And waiting on defense on any objections.
Well, Judge, we would ask that they be open and be identified what is in there. The package itself is not,
Right now, there's nothing relevant that's been, no relevance.
Your Honor, completely relevant as they are legal, and as his testimony just showed, the integrity of these has been maintained. Opening it would then take away the integrity thereof. We've already established the last chain of custody, the last link of chain of custody. Mr. Ninka is the first link in that chain of custody, and we'd ask that these be admitted. As a matter of fact, he's actually the last link as well before Mr. Castillo.
Can't testify what's in, it's not private check. Prize right now, we don't know what's inside.
He totally did, Your Honor.
So I got casings.
Right.
I understand he said what, but he hasn't said, he hasn't looked at it and said, okay, that's what's in there.
Objection overruled. State exhibits 52, 53, 54, and 145 will be admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Judge. Permission to publish these items to the jury.
Yes.
No. Okay, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 145. Let's see that. Now I'm showing you on State's Exhibit 145. There's a green label there that we're seeing that starts with the letters LAR. Is that the Webb County tag?
No, sir.
Whose tag does that belong to?
That belongs to the GPS crime lab.
Okay. This number right here, is that the Webb County number?
No, that belongs to GPS.
Okay. Now we talked about how they have seals that are different than yours. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is this the Webb County Sheriff's seal?
That would be ours. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you had explained that you sign over the tape and over a piece of this in case it's torn. You can see.
You'll see where they tore it.
Okay. Here at the bottom, there's another seal in which it seems that they had resealed it from where they opened it. Is that your seal?
No, that's the DPS.
Okay. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 52. And we had already talked about earlier, this is one of the casings that you had recovered, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, we've already established that this hasn't been opened, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. It still has the sheriff's seal.
Yes, sir.
It's still in place. It hasn't been torn.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, there's a signature with a marking here. Okay. Whose is that, if you can recognize it?
I don't recognize it, sir.
Okay, so we'll go back here. Again, the evidence tape here, that's not one of the sheriffs, right?
No, that has to be somebody from the crime lab.
We spoke about a label. Is this the label that you were talking about?
Yes, sir.
Is this the barcode that you had explained gets printed out automatically through the computer system?
Yes, sir.
Is that barcode unique to each one of these labels?
Yes, and then they have a different tag on the top.
Okay. Included in this tag, what other information, identifying information for this case is there? And can you just zoom in?
It
I know
has
it's been blurred a bit.
it has the tag number. It has our case number,
So
the
there's tag number,
the description, one casing,
case number.
and right there I wrote in the time, the number one, the time it was recovered. Then it has the officer that's logging it in. That would be me. And then it has the agency barcode that says Webb County on it.
And this information up here,
That was written in by either myself or that looks like Investigator Ugarte's handwriting or Mr. Stern's.
okay. And down here, it looks like there's,
Investigator Stern.
so Investigator Stern was present and helped you recover these items as
Yes,
well.
sir.
State's Exhibit 53. Same series of questions. Identifying marks on this one?
The case number, the property, the tag number, the .40 caliber casing, the time it was recovered, checked in by me, and then all the other information, the barcode.
Okay, so you're saying check-in officer. Is
Yeah.
this what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's me.
And I know it's really blurred. How many years has this been sitting in storage?
Since 2018.
But you can tell that that's yours, right?
Yes, I can see my name right there, sir.
And whose name is that?
Nenke.
Okay. State's Exhibit 54. Same series of questions. Are there identifying marks on this package?
Yeah, it's the tag number, case number, the third casing, the time, and it was logged in by myself and the barcode and the Webb County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, and again, none of this has been opened since it's gotten back from the lab, aside from the packaging in which it came.
Yes, sir.
Put in the package over here. Was this the only crime scene that you yourself processed?
I helped Investigator Ugarte. Him and myself worked on the search warrant at the house.
But in terms of where the individual bodies were found,
That basically, yeah.
that's the only one that you actually went and...
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what about items that were recovered from the victims themselves? Clothing, bullet fragments, stuff like
That the clothing goes with the bodies to the medical examiner's office. Then once the Dr. Stern is done with whatever she does over there, they call us and we go pick up the clothing and whatever else she turns in.
Okay, is there some sort of receipt or documentation that shows that somebody recovered that evidence?
We usually sign a form there, and they'll take out everything to make sure like everything's there.
Okay, and was that done in this case?
Yeah, but it's done in all cases.
Okay, I'm going to show you 4 documents. Investigator Denke, I'm going to mark this one as State's Exhibit. Pull it out of this. $146. Do you recognize that document?
That's the form that Dr. Stern gives us to sign.
I'm marking this 146. Okay. How do you recognize that form?
It says what county medical examiner's receipt of evidence.
Okay. And is it reflective on that form as to who recovered or who brought that evidence back from the medical examiner?
I did. Has my name, my signature, the date, the agency, and the phone number to the office.
Okay. So we're going to ask you to give me that one back. I'm going to give you what's now being marked as State's Exhibit 147. Same question. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
And how do you recognize that?
Same thing. What county medical examiner receipt of evidence.
Okay. And on there, is there anything identifying who recovered that evidence?
My name's right there, sir. I recovered it, the date and time, and same information.
Did you sign both of these forms, 146 and 147?
Yes, sir.
And you recognize your signature in both?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you want to hand me back 147? I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 148. Same question, what document is that?
It's saying what county medical examiner's office receipt of evidence.
Okay, and how are you able to recognize that document?
The same one as the other ones, and I received the evidence.
Okay, and again, is that one signed by yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to hand me that one back. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 149. Same question, do you recognize those items?
Yes, sir.
Or that document, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's the Webb County medical examiner's receipt of evidence.
And again, how do you recognize that document?
It's the one Dr. Stern gives us when we pick up evidence.
And is there anything on that document that identifies who recovered it?
My name and my signature, date, agency, and phone number.
Now, in addition to that information as to who recovered it, where it's coming from, what other info is on that sheet?
The investigator that's giving it to us,
And you say investigator. What investigator is that?
the ones that work for the medical examiner.
Okay. You want to hand me that one back? I'm going to tender State's Exhibits 146 through 149 to defense counsel for any objections. simply the list of recovered. Mr. Nick, I'm going to ask you a few other questions. These forms that I just showed you, 146, 147, 148, and 149, where are the originals kept of that?
They turned over to the investigator that has the case.
Okay, and that, do you know, well, I guess you wouldn't know at that point where they go. Okay, so the main investigator would be the one that explains where the originals and that is.
Yes.
And have you ever investigated a case at CID?
Yes.
Okay, and when you turn in your report, are all originals turned over, or are they scanned and a copy's turned over?
The originals stay with the original report, depending on what kind of report it is, but they should be scanned and put in the...
So usually what the state gets is scanned copies of the originals.
This one?
Yeah.
No, this is a copy.
Right, that's a
that
copy.
comes in. Yeah.
But what we get is usually what, the originals or scanned copies?
Whenever they turn in the report, whatever the investigator puts in.
Okay, that's fine. Your Honor, we're going to re-urge 146, 147, 148, and 149.
We're doing the same up here.
You establish what the, you can establish what the original, all one is the original.
But there was no question. So we can wait.
What's the state at this time?
That's okay. If you remember, did you recover any evidence from the medical examiner's office?
The victim's clothing, if there was any projectiles, they would come in the envelopes inside. She usually takes the fingerprint card, FTA card, fingernail clippings, pubic hair clippings, and a couple of the things that I can't remember offhand, but there are several things that she turns over to us.
any projectiles from these bodies?
From where, sir?
From the ME's office, did you recover any
I
projectiles?
believe so.
Okay. And those weren't recovered at the scene, right?
No, the medical examiner turned them over to us.
Okay. Now, in addition to what you recovered at Guisela scene and the stuff that was recovered from the medical examiner's office, what, if anything else, of physical evidence that you yourself recover and put away into evidence?
I remember there being some fragments,
Some fragments.
bullet fragments.
Okay. Did you ever recover anything related to an automobile?
Not off. Can I look at my notes?
Sure. Is there a question on radio?
Yeah, I don't recall, sir.
Okay, were you ever given a key to the truck?
That was, yes. That was, but that was another case number.
Okay, why was there another case number?
Because that one was with Erica Peña and the search warrant case number.
Okay, what did you do with that key?
I locked it in my filing cabinet in my office.
Okay, do you remember who gave you that key?
Captain Calderon.
Okay, were you able to match that key to a vehicle?
Yes, the suspect vehicle.
Which one again?
The suspect vehicle.
And what vehicle is that?
It's a white Dodge pickup.
Now, you said that you're the custodian of evidence there at that substation.
Yes, sir.
Where has this white Dodge pickup been the last 4 years, since the date of this arrest?
It's parked in outside the parking lot.
Is that vehicle still there to this day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, has it been moved?
No, sir.
Has it been moved for evidence purposes?
No, sir.
Okay, were tire impressions taken of this?
I believe so.
Okay. Did you ever take anything off of that vehicle?
The left rear tire.
Okay. You yourself pulled the left rear tire?
No, the tire man from the Webb County Road and Bridge.
Were you present when this
Yes,
was
sir.
done? Okay. Have you seen that tire?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Permission to approach, Your Honor?
Bench it or
To will out?
yes.
Now, it's going to be a little hard here. So I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 64. Okay, and I guess I'm going to bring it close to you because I usually ask you to step down, but I'm not going to do that today. Can you see from there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. All right. Do you recognize this item?
Yes, sir.
How do you recognize this item?
That's the tire I removed from the truck.
Okay, is there a tag or any identifying information on it?
I tagged it right there.
You tagged it right here. Okay, and is that, like you said, is this the tire that came off of that white Dodge that's been in your possession this entire
Yes, sir.
time? State wishes to admit into evidence at this time State's Exhibit 64. Any objections from the wishes to admit State's Exhibit 64. Sorry, I'm out of breath. State's Exhibit 64 at this time.
Well, Judge, we still objecting on the legality of the seizure of this truck. So our objection is that this time until they establish that the truck was legally seized, which is not coming to trial yet, that it's not admissible in this penalty order.
I believe the court's already made a ruling on that. Your Honor.
Well, look,
Well, we're re-urging it.
yes. Your objections noted. Court ruling stand at this time. The State's Exhibit number 64. You said
64.
64 is admitted into evidence. Your objections are noted.
Now, Investigator Naked, on the night of the arrest, you mentioned that you were at the At the substation. Okay, did you participate in any way in the search of the vehicle?
No, sir.
Okay, were you present during the search of the vehicle?
No, sir.
Okay, did you participate in the search at any time after that?
No, sir.
At this time, we'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Your accused.
Thank you, sir.
What a system.
These were the ones that I put up.
Okay.
So make sure you have it.
During the lunch break, Mr. Davila, you the statements in front of the defense that there may be
Yes, sir.
another short witness.
Yes, he's ready.
Yes, Your Honor, it's a predicate witness.
Okay. Are you ready to call? Who's the witness?
Yes,
Who's the witness?
Ignacio Rojas.
And you see present? Was that me? Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir. You promise to the testimony you're going to give during this trial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may take the witness.
Your Honor, may I proceed? Good afternoon, Mr. Rojas. My name is Marisela Jackman, for the record.
Good
Would
afternoon.
you please state your full name?
My name is Ignacio Riojas Jr.
And Mr. Rojas, how are you employed?
I'm a district manager for Murphy, USA,
Where is that? In what city?
Laredo, Texas, and part of the lower Rio Grande Valley.
Okay, and how many Murphy's stores do you manage?
A total of 12.
In in those 12, do you manage the Murphy's that is located in Laredo, Texas on International Street?
Yes, I am the district supervisor for that location.
And as a point of reference, is that in front of a Walmart in Laredo, Texas?
That is correct, in front of a Walmart.
What is do you have an identifier for that store?
Yes, it's store number 8718.
Now, do you recall receiving a request from law enforcement back in September of 2018?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And was that a request for assistance in obtaining surveillance, video surveillance for your store?
Yes,
Do you have, and that was for footage that was captured of activity that occurred on Friday, September the 14th, 2018?
that is correct.
Does the Murphy's store 8718, located on International, have a security surveillance?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And is it capable of recording images of the work areas,
That is correct.
the parking areas?
Yes, ma'am?
Does that include the pumps, the gas pumps?
Yes.
Okay. And is this surveillance, is it videotape or is it digital recording?
It's digital recording.
Is this digital recording, does it automatically record images on a hard drive or other electronic medium?
Yes, it's on a hard drive.
Okay. And are you able, or do you have the capability to retrieve or duplicate the images, the recorded images, onto a CD or USB?
Yes.
And are you able to specifically request a time frame that is requested of you? For example, in this occasion, the September the 14th of 2018.
Yes.
And did you in fact transfer or duplicate the recorded images from that surveillance, that security surveillance?
Yes, for that date, yes, I did.
Do you recall the name of the investigator that requested assistance with this?
Ranger Ernesto Salinas?
Okay. And did you provide him with a copy of this surveillance?
Yes, I did.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rojas, I'm giving you what is marked as States Exhibit 150. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
It's a USB.
And have you observed the images on that USB?
Yes, I have.
And how is it that you know that this is the USB that you observed?
It has our store number, once I was able to see it, I could see my store, everything from the store, from the inside to the outside.
So now, when did you observe the images that are stored in this exact USB?
I viewed it when Mr. Ernesto Salinas asked me to download the information on the USB. He asked for a particular time frame, and I did, and I just ensured that everything that he requested, it was actually downloaded on the USB.
Okay, now for clarification purposes, is this the exact USB that you provided to E.J. Salinas?
Yes.
Okay, and did you provide any identifiers on this USB so that we would make sure that it is the actual USB that you observed?
Yes, my initials.
Okay. Is it a true and correct and accurate representation of the images from your surveillance camera?
Yes, ma'am.
I now tender States Exhibit 150 for inspection and offer into evidence.
May I take one without everything on it?
You name?
Mr. Riojas, you
Mike,
stated,
please.
I'm sorry?
Mike, please.
Mr. Riojas, you stated that you were requested by Ranger Salinas back in September of 18 to, I guess, download this from your digital hard drive onto this USB?
That is correct.
Okay. then, back in September of 2018, you viewed this USB to make sure that it accurately reflected what it intends to reflect. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do, sir. Yes.
Okay. Have you viewed it since?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And when did you last view it?
I viewed it this morning.
Okay. So that's why the 11/30/22 is here?
That is correct.
And you viewed it in its entirety?
Correct, sir.
And it still accurately depicts that?
Yes, sir.
No objection, Your Honor, to 150.
Right. So since exhibit 150 was offered, will be admitted into evidence at this time.
Oh, Your Honor, I passed the witness.
No, nothing from this witness.
You may sit down.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let me ask the attorney briefly a question. Can you approach just the length of the, or I can ask you, what's the length of the next,
Your Honor, we're gonna go back and continue with Captain Calderon. And of course, Calderon we're back on the confession.
I understand, but how long, there's a new CD, right?
We're going to disc two.
And how long is that more or less?
Disc two. It's gonna probably be about an hour and 20 minutes as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give the jury an afternoon break then, before that. That's what I was asking, that's why I was asking. It's almost 4 o'clock, so we'll take about a 10 to 15 minute break, and again, we'll work about 45. I'll just remind you not to discuss the facts of the case.
All rise for the jury.
Wait one sec. We're waiting for the. Somebody else stepping up, or is it prosecution side? They're both out.
Oh, I think he's getting,
Oh, okay.
yes, we heard, yes. This is our best, this is-
We're gonna go for 5:30, 5:45 again, wherever we're at with the. All right, so everyone's ready now for the jury.
Yes, yes.
Go ahead with the jury now, please.
All rise for the jury.
Do you have the mic, Mr. Alanis?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. 116. Thank you. You may be seated. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Captain Calderon, we left off finishing disc 1, correct?
Correct.
So now we're going to move into disc 2. Okay?
Yes, sir.
If you can direct your attention to the transcript of disc 2. So when we concluded your testimony earlier, you all had been, and you began the interview of Juan David Ortiz, correct?
Correct.
You were asking him about Erica, correct? When, at the initial stages of the interview, you all were.
In the initial stages, yes, sir.
So let's continue with the interview of Juan David Ortiz. And what you were asking him, if you could walk us through. If you can walk us through what topics or information were you talking to Mr. Ortiz about?
On disc 1,
On disc 2, we're now on disc 2.
on disc 2. On this too, we asked if he knew the victims' names. We talked about some of the actions of earlier that day, and he still claimed not to know the people or what happened earlier that day.
Well, you had already fully interviewed Erica, correct?
Correct.
She had already provided you all the details as to where he picked her up,
Yes.
where they went to buy drugs,
Yes.
where they went to buy beer,
Correct.
where they went to his house,
Yes.
what they did at his house,
Yes.
what happened at the strikes near his house,
That's correct. Yes.
the allegation of him pulling out the gun.
Yes.
You confronted him with all of that.
Yes.
What were his responses to that information that you shared with him or confronted him with?
He claimed that he didn't know what we were talking about. That he didn't know. He didn't know Erica.
So you say he said, I don't know what you're talking about. How many times did he say that? At least on disc 2.
I don't recall, but it was several times.
Did you talk to him about his being familiar with the toll road? When I say toll road, what toll road are we referring to?
FM 255 Camino Colombia.
Okay. Now, did he did you examine him, question him about the last time he was on the toll road?
We did.
And what was his response to you?
He didn't remember.
You say he had one time made an arrest around there, or he had made a bus or something when he was working with another unit?
Correct, but not recently. Not that day. He didn't remember being there that day.
Did you ask him about his familiarity with Jeffrey's Road?
I don't recall on this one. I'd have to check my notes here.
Okay, you go ahead and check your notes. Did you bring up the topic about his service weapon?
Yes, on the previous disc, yes.
What else do you talk to him about on disc 2?
We talk about Melissa and Claudine.
Okay. And what does he tell you about Melissa or Claudine?
Initially, that he doesn't know who they are.
You confront him with the information that Erica gave you that they had gone to his house.
Yes,
And what does he say about that?
he denied it initially.
You confront him with that he bought drugs for Erica, that they went for a cruise in his truck.
We talk about that eventually, yes. He denied it also initially.
In fact, I think you alluded to it earlier. The only Erica he knows what is from when.
He said that the only Erica he knew was from a Gladys Porter High School or Gladys Porter School from his hometown,
Which was where?
Brownsville, or I believe.
Brownsville, Texas.
Yes, sir.
So up until this, in this too, he continues to deny any knowledge of Erica?
Correct.
And he denies knowing or any knowledge of Melissa?
Correct.
He denies any knowledge of Bonnie?
Correct. And I found here, I think, can I read from here, the answer? I think that was pretty much the last time I was on the toll road, when I was in TEU. I guess that's a unit or something, or somewhere where he worked. But he thinks that last time he was there is when he was working.
What about, did you ask him the last time he fired his service weapon?
We did. He said qualifications, which would have been 3 months previous, somewhere around there, because qualifications were coming up.
So on September the 15th, when he's sitting with you in this interview room, he says that the last time he fired his service weapon, the 40 cal H&K, was 3 months before.
Approximately is what he said when he qualified last time.
When he
Qualified, yes.
So we're
And-
going to go ahead and publish this to the
Started blacking out with
When that started happening?
I take the pills every day, so in other words, when I drink.
I'm gonna ask you here, and like a lot of stats here. And I'm gonna be real frank with you, I'm gonna be square with you. And listen to this, I'm not messing around with you, I'm not joking around.
The exhibits were 104 through 115. We played 104, I believe, before lunch break, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
The exhibit, the last exhibit was 104.
Yes, Your Honor.
So are they in sequence? So the next one should be 105, is it?
Yes, this is disc, exhibit 105.
Okay.
Here in Arkansas, there's no animal field so
I can tell you detail that that's not a problem.
and I bought 3 tall boys there. So as far as buying beer in Arkansas, there's no animal field so
I can tell you details of the beer that was bought over there, you didn't get down.
okay.
Yeah, he said somebody at the beer port.
Okay.
The person actually dropped one of the beers when they left the store on the way out, dropped it, picked it up.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We know that you have a lot of people smoking in your truck. Is that true?
Sound like it was one person truck.
So, I mean, what I'm trying to tell you is, I want to know what happened today about that. You keep telling me we should know something, we already know, you know why you're here, you know why you're here. We'll get to that.
before we get to that, what happened with that young lady earlier? I have no idea what young lady is talking about. You know, you remember Erica? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, I have no idea who Erica is. The only Erica I know is Erica Castro, and she's from high school. What high school? Gladys Porter High School. The only Erica I know. Is that just from Rockland? So you're from Rockland? Oh, wow. That's my first one. Good. Yeah, I'll live right here. Oh, yeah. This Erica's not from Rockland. Where is it? Oh. They color duty? Modified color duty? They call me Fred. They call me Fred if you want. We call me very much Fred. They color it. I'm okay with anything. You're not getting sick as well, but I'm not going to. Oh, I'm fine. I'm going to catch you. So, did you remember you said something like that? Oh, is that right? Is that right? What? You said the tickets before. You know how it was collected. You know how they collect the evidence. So, when you say that you all know already.
You said you have, right?
And you're going to love him forever, right? No matter what they do in life. Yeah. Let's say you have 2 kids that go doctors, lawyers, you'll go kind of
You won't
go arrest them and everything. You have to go get them out of jail and everything. You're still going to love them.
arrest him.
Right? Or you're going to feel like, you're going to cut him off. No matter what he did, si algo le pasaba.
If something happened to him.
I had this discussion with the wife already. Okay. She's having fun with it.
It turned out to be
Okay.
failure.
So you're kind of strict with your kids? Very. Okay. And your wife's the obedient one? Yeah. Okay. Is that one of the issues that y'all been having? Not having an issue. Okay. I promise you. Not even with the drinking, the whole you had. So she was cool with you drinking and everything? She was not cool with me drinking and driving, blacking out. And she would tell me that I was drinking too much at work, that I don't think she needs to do that. That was the only argument with drinking. She said, you're fucking drinking, you're driving, black out. So, that was why I started. And you would be driving with your family in the car? No, never. So they have to look you up for boys, like boys night out or whatever? Yeah. I never really did a night out, like, I never really hung out with anyone from work. So when would you drive in?
Gabriel, can you speak louder so that the translations can come out?
Yes.
Laredo, cuando iba al rancho, y en el rancho venía pedísimo. By yourself?
And at the ranch, I would go to the
My wife hated me.
And you would go there very close?
Pretty much. Okay. Porque it's not in the middle of nowhere, it's about a mile north of Rosehousing Road. Y,
because it's
pues quien quiera poner con el
for
carro.
them
Right.
who wants to be there with
Yeah,
you.
you're right. So, well, no, I never drank with my kids in the car. Never.
Okay. So one of your kids started mal.
Turns out to be rotten.
When was the last time you were there on a photo?
It's been a while. I've been on the total since probably when I was in Target enforcement unit. I got fucking hell out. I was trying to Toro, you know, in Paquet, on Highway 83, and the fast flow gas station.
Across the
Santa
street
Fe,
from
pinche Maquero, Saloon, or some shit to say. I was parked in the gas station, broad daylight, looking at traffic, 2 in the afternoon, car kind of white, F-250 long day, con un pinche traffic driving it,
with a damn
with a helmet in the dashboard. And I hesitated, like, it's too good to be true, things cut out of them. So I go, I get behind him, I tried to get behind it, and the motherfucker stepped on it. And then I go on the passing lane, he had like a truck with him, intentionally blocked me. And lit him up, finally got out of the way, and I stepped on it. Por pura coincidencia, the deputy was going by, I can't remember his name, he said commander, so okay. All that. Yeah, okay. The guy ended up battling at the CNN gas station at the 13 mile marker. He had like 500 pounds of weed. So I think that was pretty much the last time I was on this whole room. Went down to see you. After that, we started focusing mostly on stash houses. We worked mostly on the south side of Laredo.
What about Jeffrey's Road? When's the last time you were over there?
Jeffrey's Road, it's been a long ass motherfucking time. Probably since before TDU, probably in 2015, maybe 2016. That's probably the last time I was there. The Jeffrey's Road on the Cascade divide runs west and east on the north side. The north side is on the top traffic. On the south side,
that's where all the traffic is. There isn't any.
They're great ranch houses. Okay. On the north side is the top traffic.
So if you're going
Is where the traffic is.
on 35 to the toll road on Coconut Bridge,
When you're over the bridge.
Yeah. On the north side. And it goes a very, very long way. I never really liked going in there because, like I said, I started in Casuga and I went to North as a supervisor. So I never got the actual field time to track groups. So, mostly a highway guy. Aquí.
You're at.
En Casuga tienes los ranchos con nadie.
I do know the ranches very well.
the Laredo is pretty much lost.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, as a supervisor, you don't get much field time, unfortunately.
How many guys did you supervise?
I had like a crew of 14.
Yeah, her.
Look,
Big, right? You don't even bet you right now.
it's a bit of mine. I mean, kind of, I'm thinking on the budget right now. And I think what happened earlier today with that person, that's not all that happened.
You guys considering this person?
Listen,
Okay. What they have to work on nothing. And this happens to you, if you remember, you know, this other lady. And then guess what? We find another lady tonight.
holy fucking shit.
I'm sure you're gonna do it, right? Right.
Tonight, you said?
Okay. Well, the kind of weapon you're describing, same kind of weapon. Thanks to all of them. You know how DNA works?
Yeah.
You know how blood works? You know how cell tower phone works?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any reason why all this stuff's gonna probably be next to you?
Do you let you go to someone else?
Not myself.
It has been a long time.
And you said you didn't fire today.
No.
So we do a GSR in your hands. It's not gonna show any blood residue.
No.
You don't think so?
Well, you don't see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't see, I mean, you studied criminal justice too? Well, you know the GSR, how it works. Yes, I am. Do some,
Have you done drugs? Positive. So if there's somebody out there saying, I'll serve you a masculinity,
I know him.
no?
You put this right now.
One of the people we said he didn't necessarily buy for you.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about right now.
We're talking about the person that was found out at Jefferson Road a couple weeks ago, about a week ago.
How about that?
I saw it on the news.
And the other one, I worked talking on the phone after that.
The news didn't really release much of that one.
And the ones tonight.
That, I don't know jack shit about right now because of
And on top of that, there's the one that got away. The one that got away, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, so I'll remember. So, we picked up Erica earlier today. You picked her up before. She's been to your house before. She can describe your house on the inside. She can describe your backyard. She can describe your truck. She can describe you. She knows you by name. She didn't know you were a border patrol agent. I'm sure that would have scared her away knowing your profession. But she knew you were a supervisor somewhere because you had told her. She knew you were a veteran because you had told her that too. She knew what you drove. She knows that you don't like letting the smoke inside the truck because you don't want that. You don't like the figures in the truck. And she did tell us that she noticed something was up with you, that you weren't your normal self. Says that she's seen you before and you were pretty cool. You were pretty good guy, you were pretty chill. And today you weren't very chill. You seemed agitated, you seemed on edge, and you weren't being your normal self. So, she has a totally wet with you. Come to the truck with you. Y'all took the cruise. Y'all went to Arkansas.
Where did this person jump in my truck?
I don't know.
Where? On the free line?
Not that long. How were the ladies work? Not that long. That is pretty actually. That's actually a couple blocks. So you pick her up where she normally works. You've picked her up before. It's not the first time. She doesn't recall the exact amount of times, but she knows it's more than 5, less than more than 5, less than 10, 15 times.
And think about this. Once there's text out there, there might be some other people coming forward with the same thing, and they're going to recognize you. So yes, this is the muchacho con el auto.
There's the guy that picked me up.
Oh, ese es el vato que vi que
Or this is the guy that I stopped for up and picked up this one.
So, you drove around to the cruise, went home with her. Before that, you let her drive by somewhere so she could connect. You gave her a number for that. So she could connect, as long as she didn't use their car, we didn't know that apparently. Whose cigarette or whatever she connected with. She went to your house. And you're telling us you don't do that, right?
I've never done that.
Okay, and I believe you. I believe you. Other than prescribed stuff, I believe you.
take prescribed medication.
Yeah, and I don't mean that when I say drugs, I don't mean prescribed stuff.
Oh, okay.
But there were drugs in your house earlier today, and they weren't being used by you.
There were drugs in my house?
She didn't. She said y'all sat down, went to the backyard, had a smoke. She was feeling kind of funny. She told me she was feeling funny because of the way you were acting.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And she puked in your front yard. You didn't want the neighbors to see, so you told her to get behind your truck, which she did. And just puked on your driveway.
Oh, so you guys have picked in my truck to my house?
Not in your house. Not in your house. Not inside. Not
Well,
inside.
you got my keys, so I'll just open the door.
We'll go get that. We'll get that.
You had the keys with you when you were in the back of the truck? The guy has them.
Okay. We'll get that. Don't worry. We'll order.
There's no point in kicking the doors open or throwing pot shots or anything.
Oh, we'll go pop shots.
You guys told me,
I don't know if he
Right,
yeah. So you following that thing pretty much. That was part of your actions today, but she noticed you were yourself. Probably she noticed because she said you picked her up enough times to know that you were cool. She actually said you were a little bit on your own, but she was cool with that. Yeah, a little bit.
Asshole.
I have no idea who you guys are talking about.
We're talking about Erica. She's not the only one you picked up though.
Okay.
She's not the only one picked up, and I think how's everything?
Okay.
And what they heard today, you were at that gas station by your station.
Station.
With her. Some of the stuff you were
Did
doing
I
right
go
now.
into the gas station?
Some
I had a full tank of gas, so I don't see why I would go there.
yeah, probably that's exactly what it was this time. Right. You know, these guys already feel love.
Yeah, and
Some of the stuff you're doing right now, when we were describing that you weren't feeling well, the movements you were making with your head right now, you're saying you just weren't feeling yourself in your head. She told us you were doing exactly that, and you kind of started to freak her out. And started asking, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? You said, yeah, I'm fine. And you pulled into the gas station, you went by where the 18 was parked.
where the diesel pumps are at.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, exactly what. So you know what area I'm talking about, I'm guessing.
So you're talking, I know that gas station in particular, and I know you said where the trucks are at, so I know that gas station.
Now we're gonna get to the part where you have an issue with, you know, the part where you're upset, the trooper is in front of you, but we'll get there right now. So we're at the gas station, right? Just after you left the house, you offered to buy some mini.
If I heard something, whoever this person is.
You didn't. Because after you offered some mini, you started getting center. She said you reached behind the truck, back seat. You pulled out your service weapon and pointed it at her face. She described it, taking her. She described what you were wearing, down to the team.
I've never put my weapon in my backseat.
Okay, well, she said you reached back. Right. You got your service weapon, pointed it at her. She tried to fight you off, and she said you were a lot stronger than she was, and that's not hard to believe. She said in the struggle, she got free. You grabbed her shirt, tore off. And this is where this comes together to where you're going to understand why that trooper did what he did. She starts running away, screaming for help. There were witnesses, there were people there. Guess who's in the parking lot also? There's a trooper parked in that parking lot, pumping gas. And he sees this lady without a shirt in her bra, running full speed, screaming that someone's going to kill her. Screaming that someone pointed a gun at her. And she's fearful for her life. She was genuinely scared. She thought she was going to die.
During one of those conversations, the conversation of the two females came up. What two females? Two females that we found. Oh, okay. I think that's where you got kind of edgy. Conversation with who? Erica. I don't recall this.
What happened? It happened earlier today. And the more she talked about Melissa and Claudine, the more she talked about them, the more agitated he got. And she said he wasn't himself. He kept shrugging his shoulders.
Agitated, like what? Like agitated, like
You're being irritated.
and he gets upset.
You're being irritated. And that's where she was saying he wasn't himself. He wasn't the person who picked me up the first few times, the person who had picked me up before. He started shrugging his shoulders. He started,
When have I picked her up?
must have been that one.
When?
When?
More than 5 business. I would remember that shit. There's no way in hell I picked up someone 5 times.
That's her.
Right.
That's just her.
Right.
We're not talking about Melissa yet. So this is still just Erica. And it's a San Bernardo. And you're telling me it's so far-fetched, but we saw you on San Bernardo at a gas station, which you really have over here. Far from home. And you're telling us that your service will go with you in there. And you're on something at a gas station that, you know, quite frankly, you know,
Streetwalker's picture.
that those were her friends. She knew the people who died. She knew the people who got shot. She knew the people who got hurt. And they were her friends. They worked together. And they saw each other every day, you know. They might have had miserable, probably lives. They might have had a meager existence, but it was their existence. You know, to them, what they call televiando, you know, working in the corner or whatever, that was their thing. And that was earlier today. And she got away from me. And she ran straight to a trooper.
She got away from me.
Well,
6 foot 1, 220 pounds.
that's right. That's right.
You got away from the trooper?
You got away from the trooper. You didn't. You didn't run. So you're saying if you were.
If I were to be going after someone,
Did I get away? Okay, well, there's a little issue with the person that are in your truck. There's a lot of people. We'll get there. Okay, they're not invited there.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll get there. That's not important right now.
Okay.
So she got away without a bra. I mean, without a shirt, wearing only a bra. Running through a parking lot while the train, screaming for help. Yeah, leaving your truck. And she gets to the trooper. She talks to the trooper. She tells him all the stuff that happened. So naturally, the protector wasn't free. You know very well. Like you said, when you do your job, you're just doing your job. We're doing our job. We're going to come looking for you. And, you know, lo and behold, you take her up with something out of them, that's where we fight. We live in northeast Laredo, far, far from there. And we're finding nothing in that one. At that gas station. And yeah, a trooper shows up. And you heard the story, what happened? One of the guys who got to debrief her. So when we talk about, you know, we didn't pick your name out of a hat. We didn't. So she ran, barely got away. She made it to that trooper. And here we are. Now trooper finds you. Wants to talk to you about that. Naturally, he has a weapon. He has to protect himself, and we were told more armed. And you're confirmed that, right?
No, when I went to the restroom, I didn't.
No, we don't know that. You had a weapon. I mean, how are we going to know that you had a weapon in the car? Just like you described. We're not. We don't know. We don't know you. Like you say, you know me. We don't know you. I don't know you. The trooper didn't know you. And you ran. So after the description we get of what you did, you take up running, and yet you're telling us we know where you work. We didn't. I didn't know where you worked. We were looking for you because of what happened. I didn't know where you worked. I didn't know you were. It's not too hard to believe because after you left there, we thought you'd go home, so you didn't go home. You went back to Tampanago. I think you're going to try and pick someone else up, but we don't know that well. We'll get to it later. But to connect why the trooper did what he did, he had no way of knowing if you were armed or not. And you did have a weapon in the car. It is a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson service HK. Work with resolutions here that it was in the truck. Or in the truck, you're telling us. So, Erica was running through a parking lot away from your truck in her bra, screaming, "Please help me, please help me, gonna kill me." And it got there because she started bringing up Melissa and Claudine. And those are her, you know, for lack of a better word, they're her coworkers. They didn't have to get along, they didn't work together, they didn't tag team or anything, they were fighting against together, they just were coworkers. And they saw each other every day. And they see who get in the car, who is the good, test by who. And, you know, I didn't know your last name was Ortiz. You're telling me that. They know you as David. I didn't know you were JD, I didn't know, I don't, so when we were telling you, we don't know, I'm not messing with you.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be funny, we're not trying to be, we're not trying to be coy with you. We were asking seriously, we should tell them what's this, we don't want to give you a hard time. But, I have no idea. I have no idea on that, and we're gonna get there.
Right.
Because here's my thing, and these, like here's what I gotta be for this. So, if someone knew we were looking for you, and they didn't tell us, we have an issue with that.
Right.
Because we're looking for you, and someone's trying to call you to ask you what's up, I gotta make sure that you should too. And not only that, if you were in my position, I'm sure you want to know why. But we'll talk to that agent and ask them why, and we'll figure that out. We'll talk to them, ask them what their view is.
Yeah, it's like you all, you have a group around them, I don't know, you have they told me to work, okay, so the guy, if you see the car, you see the guy, more likely one of the photo, it's the same way we go down. Como decía Thiago, que yeah, sometimes they come with Port John's, that's normal business, pero they look after each other, mira, somebody comes up missing, they're gonna know, this constitute este car, last time, this car. So it's not gonna be hard to make a house.
It's not, and it's gonna be Rick, or it's gonna be Juan, or it's gonna be David. It's gonna be the guy on the red Suburban, the guy in the white truck, or the guy in the blue Camaro. It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be something like that. I'm using those as examples. I'm not,
Right.
But, and we're here. Please. Why did that happen earlier?
I was in the house. I was drinking beer. I was in the freezer. I drank. So I went to work. I take 8 minutes per day. I don't do drugs.
These are all my things. Like, we're not trying to give you our friend. We asked you because we know we weren't over there. I didn't serve. Greg didn't serve. We don't know what you saw. We don't know what you were up against. We don't know the stuff that you bring back with you. You know that. And you're the one who has to deal with that. And even though I can't relate, I imagine it's not easy. And I imagine that's why you went to the VA. I can understand if you're pretty upset because you didn't get the help you wanted to get. Or
Started blacking out with
when that started happening.
when I take those pills. I take the pills every day, so in other words, when I drank.
I'm gonna ask you here, and I'd like an honest answer.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be real frank with you. I'm gonna be square with you. And listen to me, please.
Don't get discouraged.
I'm not messing around with you. I'm not getting around. I'm not trying to be funny. Like you said, why did they call me? I really don't know. And I'm gonna find out. I am.
Right.
I am gonna find out who called me and why they called me. Because if I put out that I'm looking for you, I'd like people to call me, not to call you. Because the other way works the same way. If you want, if you put out a bull for someone, hey, you're looking for this guy, this is whatever, and they start calling the guy, hey, it doesn't work out. But look, okay, you're saying blackout. I'm not saying you don't. Do you have dreams about when you black out, stuff you might do, stuff that might happen?
Last night, my wife said that I was asleep. She woke me up, and I was like asleep. I woke up. My wife said, "What were you dreaming last night?" I said, "I don't know why." My wife said, I was screaming in my sleep, saying, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" And then she shook me a little bit, and I'm like, "Fuck you." That happened last night.
Do you remember from the night dream though?
Oh, that's what my wife was asking, what the fuck are you dreaming? And I have nightmares all the time, and I do like, and my wife, in the beginning she would freak out, Now she just, like snapped my phone.
Okay.
That's why they put me on trazodone.
Okay, so what you're telling us is that it might be that you black out and you come by like that and you wouldn't even know it?
My wife would tell me.
No, but your wife wasn't around.
Have you passed out and driven before?
Blackout, yes.
And you just, your death by all of a sudden, holy shit, how did I get here?
My wife had told me, you remember what the fuck you did last night? No. One of the times she got really upset at me. I got home, she was there, I continued drinking, we had tequila in the house. She said I was laying down on the sofa and I kept talking about some dude that fucking died in Iraq. She said I was in my door, I went to my truck to go grab something, and then I went outside for I don't know what, and I do not remember that at all, in any way, shape, or form. I completely passed out.
Okay. So you're a good guy, just, I can see it. I can see it in your eyes right now. You're... I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that you did what you did on purpose. I'm not gonna sit here and say that you woke up one morning and said, you know what, this is my plan today. But something happened. Something's been happening, and it could be has something to do with it. We'll figure that out. We'll get to the bottom of that. But something's been happening, and it's not been agreeable with you. And other people are suffering for it. Other people have suffered for it. Please, I'm not gonna sit here.
If what you're saying is true, then I'm pretty much fucked. And
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I'll tell you, there's stuff in your car that doesn't belong to you.
my first aid kit.
No, when first is there, one is first in your truck. Blood and boots.
I'm fucking hot. I got blood on my boots. Last time I shot a hog was last time I see them.
And I'm talking about hawks.
Okay, well, sir, that would be the only reason there'd be blood on my boots.
All there is blood on your boots. And
There's not gonna be animal.
yeah. I'll just talk to us. I'm not about if there's issues. There's issues, and if someone needs to talk to, we'll get you someone you need to talk to. We'll figure something out. But talk to us. I believe you that you don't maybe know entirely what exactly happened. But I have a really strong belief, and I'm pretty sure you do too, that you do know what happened, and you have an idea of what we're talking about. And I'll say something to me. I can see the sincerity in your eyes. I can see that you're sincere. But I can also see that when I talked to you about some of the stuff that we talked about earlier, yeah, you changed a little bit. So, right here, exactly what I'm talking about. And we have people right now who are without family members, somebody's sister, somebody's mother. And you know what? They went off the wrong track. And we get that. But they are somebody's mom. They're somebody's sister. That's somebody's daughter. And I'm sure, even though you say you're a hard ass, and I believe you are, I mean, with the Marines are known for being anything, known for being hard asses, right? They're known for being hard asses and being straight arrows and doing this right. At least those people that we're talking about, with the horses. They might not have been the best citizens, I give you that, I know that. They might not have been the best people out there, okay? They might not have been the people that we want in our community, I understand. But we can't just look like that kind of place. That's not our call. And we're trying to get your story, your side of why. We're trying to get your side of what you were thinking when it happened, why it happened, what your thoughts were when it happened. I know you didn't wake up one day and say, this is what I want to do. You didn't. I know that. But you're here. So I really would like to know why. Because I know there's your side to the story. I know there's something that you can tell us, and I know there's something that you're feeling inside. And look, don't take this offensively. Like I said, look, we have this. They weren't good people. You know, they weren't. There are people that probably most of Laredo didn't want in Laredo. But that's not a call for you and me to make. And we both know that. I'm asking why of this. Why did some of this stuff happen? Why did it happen to the point where, what got you to the point where you felt like you were losing control, or you felt like you needed to do that? What got there? Was it the drinking? Was it the drinking and the meds? I know you regret coming down to Laredo, I get it. I get that. But what is it? What is it that got you to that point? Is it the alcohol? Is it the VA stuff? Is it the combination of the VA stuff you're not getting the help you feel like you need, and the medication you're taking? That combined with the alcohol? Is that putting you over the edge? Because I can call you JD, sir. JD. Hey. Alright. Look good. Okay. I'm a supervisor. And I've had deputies that work for me to draw down some pretty crummy paths also. And it's always alcohol, and it's always medication behind it. And those are people that I feel for deeply, because I work with them every day. I share meals with them. We talk about each other's families. We went to each other's houses. We did stuff. And I saw how stuff was affecting them. And if they had only talked to somebody else, yeah, you know, just gossip lists talking to stuff and everything, and not everybody wants to be that guy who talks, because you want people to look at you different. But at the end of the day, if you don't get some stuff out there, if you don't get found out, if you don't get something, if you're saying it's not working, whatever is happening right now ain't working.
What you guys are saying is true.
I don't like to.
There is no help for me.
Why not?
I know.
Why not?
Are you 6 feet under?
If you're breathing,
Might as well be.
no.
Yeah, if what you guys are telling me is true. Help? What help? There is no help.
Why not? As long as you're breathing, there's always hope. Okay, look, let's be frank here. Did you go to a hospital and shoot it up? No. I know you didn't. Did you go to a daycare and shoot it up? No. I know you didn't. Did you go to school there by your house and shoot it up? No. I know you didn't do that. So, if you tell me stuff like that, yeah, there's no help for you. Yeah, that's you're pretty far from it. That's not what happened, and both of us know that. That's not what happened. See, we're crack addicted people. We were prostitutes. Look at me, go please. They're not going to be missed by too many people. They're not members of society that are productive. You know, I guarantee you, neither one of them will the next Einstein. I can guarantee you that. But it happened. So please, help me understand what you're thinking, why.
it doesn't jive. Look what these people today.
You want me to explain something that I don't know jack shit about?
Okay.
You want me to give you
You were at the gas station on Sunday night earlier today, right?
when the cops?
Yeah, but let's put everything else aside. Everything else we talked about. You were at Sunday night today at the gas station. By reason.
I'm taking a piss.
Why at the gas station on Sunday night if you live?
I don't know, man.
Laredo.
Why did I go to the one in Arlington? I don't know, sir. Why did I go to the one you stayed by Laredo North Station? I don't fucking know. I went to Murphy's. I filled up my tank. I don't know, sir.
So you're telling me it's completely possible that you did all this stuff and you have zero
If
recollection?
you're telling me this shit,
I'm not telling you.
and I'm pretty much fucked, and
I'm telling you, sir. I'm telling you right now, I'm not lying to you. I'm not, and I had stressed this enough from earlier. When you were laughing that, yeah, you knew they were calling me or why they were calling you, no, we didn't. Your coworkers. No, I had no idea they were calling you. I'm looking for you because of Erica. And we're here because of Erica. But we're also here because of Melissa. You knew who Melissa was. It wasn't a one-time thing with Melissa. You knew who flooding was. It wasn't a one-time thing with flooding. Do you have, I want to know honestly, do you have something against drug users? Do you have something against prostitutes? You don't remember using prostitutes? You don't remember
using prostitutes.
Yeah.
No, sir.
You don't?
No. I was a dog in the military, so nothing I would do is fuck a prostitute in the city.
I'm not messing with you. There was one in the car today. You know where there's another one right now? There's still one in the morgue and there's one farther away. What's your cell phone? 956-455-3228. 33? Thursday. Did you work Thursday? Have you been to work recently? Did you work Thursday?
Yes, Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes, sir.
So
Where are we today?
for Saturday morning, but when we talked to you first, it was Friday night. So the day before we first talked to you.
Right.
The day before.
I was scheduled to work at Benton in conjunction with a 4-day weekend, so I called Michael Jones and I said, hey man, I'm going to be a douchebag today. I'm not back in conjunction with the weekend.
And I told
Hey man, I'm off duty, do whatever the fuck you want. So then I called another student. I said, hey, I'm not going to show up to work today.
Okay. So you're off Thursday?
Thursday is sick leave.
Okay. With your wife at the house?
Yeah, she's always
All day?
She's a housewife.
Okay, did you tell her you were working and you were somewhere?
No, she was there. I was there.
So she can tell us that you were at the house. Okay, never left.
Never left. Thursday, hold on, let me, Christmas is Thursday.
on Thursday?
Thursday. Oh, maybe it was Wednesday. We bought pizza at, I went to go pick it up, Pizza Hut. Yeah, I was at the house all day. I don't recall doing anything else.
Did you work the last holiday on Monday? The last holiday we had?
That holiday, yes, Labor Day, yes. I wanted
You work?
Yes, I wanted to get paid on Labor Day. Yes.
What time, what shift did you work?
I've been working for a few months already, the swing shift from 2 p.m. to midnight.
1 p.m. to midnight.
Yes.
Did you work Sunday? The Sunday before the Memorial Day?
Yes.
To midnight?
Sunday, yes. So I definitely worked Sunday and Labor Day, and I think I was off the day after Labor Day, which was Tuesday, Wednesday.
Normally after you get out, do you go to gym or casa?
Where do you go home?
I go home.
Yes.
Does your wife know that you
get home or she broke out lunch? She doesn't know how you get there.
No, I always wake her up because those bottom medicines I make noise.
So she can say that you were
Yes.
working 6 at night and money come in.
Yes. Friday, which was earlier today, she wanted me to go get a haircut, so I got a fucking haircut. Thursday, I'm trying to fucking remember what the hell we did, and I don't remember what the hell we got. This was just in the house, and I didn't go anywhere, okay? So,
You did?
Thursday? Thursday, I think, guys.
I know, yeah. You knew when we were, you were off.
Okay.
But I don't feel like the house all day.
You didn't stay home all day. I'm not saying you weren't home, but you didn't stay home all day.
But your wife was there all day.
She's also thinking about the only time she leaves home is in the morning to go drop off the kids. She leaves home again at 11. She drops off the 3K, and then she leaves home at 3. Yes, sir. That is a true story.
That you do remember.
That my wife does that, yeah.
That you were off Thursday.
Yes.
That you were at the house all day. You studied something else.
Correct.
We're going to have video or something somewhere else that wasn't you.
That should not be me.
But you remember.
But it's in your truck.
In my truck.
Yeah. But you don't live your truck anywhere?
Nobody uses my damn truck ever.
Is that your wife?
No, she hates it.
That's
Guys,
not-
I already got fixed.
Oh, okay.
No. That's what we can get there.
You want something to eat?
No, sure.
Kids follow?
You want some more? You want another drink?
Sure. Kids, you have them?
Yeah, I can get you. Let me get you something. Let me get you something.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
¿That's this one?
I'm the he's gonna make the government. You guys allow people to smoke or no, bro?
What's that?
You guys allow people to smoke or no?
Right here.
In the study port? In the study port? Shackle, bro?
Where's that? I'll ask.
This is the end of Disc 2, Captain.
That's correct.
This is already sometime after 5 in the morning.
Approximately.
5:38.
Approximately, yes.
There's two subjects before we move to Disc 3 and probably break for the day, but it came up during the interview. The topic came up about the blood on the boot. Like one of you or a ranger or something has mentioned some blood on his boot.
Yes, it was mentioned.
Was there any, did you derive any evidence from that, or did that lead to anything?
I don't recall. I'd have to check the lab reports on that. I believe Ranger Salinas and the CSI guy sent that out.
But up until this time, it's been 4 years, but if that blood would have been matched to something or somebody, would you have known about it?
Yes,
Is it possible that didn't result in anything?
it's possible.
As far as you know, though, there was no result from that supposed blood on that boot.
Correct, I don't recall.
Or you don't have any evidence to present that to the jury, correct?
Correct.
What about, I also heard the discussion about GSR. Explain to the jury what is GSR.
Gunshot residue?
Okay. Was was, and what is, explain to the jury, what is gunshot residue used for? A test?
The
GSR
kit consists of some swabs, and we would swab somebody's hand and put it in the container package it comes in, and we would send that off to the lab for testing to see if it's testing positive for gunpowder for a firearm that's been discharged, more
I know-
specifically.
Okay, and it was evident in the interview that you all asked them about GSR, the topic came up about GSR, right? But
Correct.
did you elect to perform a GSR before the interview,
No, we didn't do it GSR before the interview.
and why not? Or during the interview? Did you stop to do it during the interview?
No,
Okay, and why not?
I felt it would have distracted from the ability to interview him. It would have taken away from the interview. I feel like there would have been more value to interviewing him and seeing what he had to say than interrupting that with a process and doing all that and perhaps not being able to talk to him after that, making him change his mind about talking.
So that was, so what you're saying, that was a strategic decision on your part? As far as not interrupting the interview to do the GSR?
It wasn't an oversight, no. I didn't forget to do a GSR.
It was intentional by you?
Yes, by the discussion we had, the team.
Okay. Because obviously we saw in the video he went to the restroom, right?
Yes, correct.
He ate some chips,
Yes,
he licked his fingers.
yes,
All of that can compromise GSR results, correct?
absolutely.
So, so then,
And he was at the restroom before he ran. He may have washed his hands there, may or may have not, I don't know. That could have compromised it as well.
Your Honor, that's all the questions I have until this three, if the court wants to break it this time.
Do you have any cross on those limited questions right now?
No, Your
Right
Honor.
now?
He's still on the record.
You saw, I haven't passed them over.
I understand, but since
Okay.
we're doing the video thing, I'm just asking if there's any limited questions, that's why I said it.
No, Your Honor.
Not cross, all right. Then at this time, we're gonna recess for the day. I'll ask you to be here by 8:30 again tomorrow morning. And I'll instruct you again not to discuss the facts of the case or not to watch any music after we get to the article behind it.
All rise for the jury.
We'll ask you to be here by 8:30 in the morning. What time is it? You should be here at 8:30 also.
Yes, sir.